Today I'm going to be walking you through lead management inside of DrivenCRM. To start, over here on the left-hand side, one of the things that we have is a panel on sales leads that are non-qualified. We also have another one that shows unqualified sales leads that have not been assigned as well that I can pick up. You can find those within inside the workspaces. If you haven't watched that video, I encourage you to do so, and you can pull those panels in to start working with those accordingly. To enter a new lead right from inside the screen manually, you can over here on the left-hand side under the Create New option. Your selection would be the first one under the New Prospect Customer Vendor Lead Entry. Since we made that selection, it will open up a new window for us to work with. And over here on the right-hand side, we can select the New Lead option. This is our unqualified. So as a definition, leads to DrivenCRM are unqualified opportunities. People you might have shook hands with at a trade show or just made a basic inquiry about your products. They don't have a true valid or qualified interest yet in either your product, your pricing, those types of things, or your services that you might be offering. As such, to make that entry, all you do is over here on the right-hand side, you select a category. Now, you can modify any of these categories under here under the Modify a List option. In this case, we'll just say that we have a general inquiry, and I'll start filling out the information accordingly. So in this case, we'll say that we're going to go ahead and have DrivenCRM be the person that we're targeting for this. I'm going to enter my basic contact information, and let's say, for example, give myself a lofty title, and go ahead and make the selections from here. One of the key features about DrivenCRM is that we do address validation right inside the solution. So as you'll see here, as I work my way through the list, it'll automatically pull my time zone and my city and my state. And when I actually go ahead and save this entry, it will automatically go ahead and do address verification for us to make sure that this address is indeed valid. I can make my selections with regards to role. Again, this is a modifiable list. I can go down under here and select the sales rep. So if I'm a sales manager entering this information, then I can make the selection of who should be assigned this opportunity, or this lead in this case. Down under here, I can also pick source. This is derived from our marketing campaigns. If you haven't seen how to set those up, I encourage you to also watch that video on how to set up the marketing campaigns and also your marketing sources. So in this case, we'll say that they found us through an email blast that we had sent out. They're interested, let's say, for example, just as a general note, in our 2-for-1 promotion, let's say. And we'll also make a selection from a territory perspective that they're actually in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. This, again, can be broken up based on how you have your territories designated. So it might be domestic versus international, or it might just be regional, however you see fit. Down under here, we have a market segment. This could also be by vertical, or you could also have it something like this, where it could be based on actual location, or let's say, for example, a city if you wanted to. So in this case, excuse me, we don't have a selection that matches. I want to add that on the fly, then I can. I can sit there and say modify a list, and now we have a new market, and in this case, it's going to be Charlotte. So I'm going to add that directly here, click on Save Changes, and that truly is how easy it is to update your codes. You don't have to leave the environment. You can sit there and basically add these things on the fly so that Driven's very dynamic. That way you can start working with it immediately, and as you work through the solution, it allows you to make the modifications that fit your needs. If I have some basic notations about my initial introduction to this person, I can go ahead and put those notes down under here. We do have social integration with platforms like Twitter. We also integrate with Facebook, LinkedIn, and Tungle. If you're interested in social networking integrations, I would definitely encourage you to see the video on that. We have some pretty powerful features there. Down over here on the left-hand side, I can go ahead and make my selection for phone numbers. And let's say, for example, the main line for this person is 704. We'll say 555-1212. And if I also want to have another line, let's say, for example, here that he's got a cell phone that we want to go ahead and add to that, I can as well. So we'll say 704-555-1216, for example. Our email addresses are down under here. We track up to 4 per contact profile, so you can add those as well. Now, as I started entering this data, it starts to look to see if there's any potential matches by first, last name, and also by company. If there is a potential match that I want to go ahead and target, or I want to add this person to, just make the selection of who that is down under here, who is the match, and I can actually access their profile accordingly. From here, I'm just going to click on Save and Create. It's going to add the lead profile directly into the system. All the data that I've captured thus far is going to be here for us to see. And then I can start working with doing phone calls, email, setting follow-ups, and starting on the conversion. In summary, what our focus with on leads is simply that, is basically to establish contact, qualify interest, and again, to focus on the next step, which is obviously to promote and quote it. I would encourage you to also watch the presentations on lead conversion to prospects. Again, in summary, we also want to focus on things like marketing would be another thing, and also the workspace technologies. You can access those videos through our help site as well.